Is it a coincidence that we are seeing so many chosen ones among us, or people that feel that they are chosen ones because they are seeing through the illusion that we are seeing right now on the planet? Is it a coincidence that a lot of them are growing up in a dysfunctional family, and it looks like that they are being placed in families where they are trying to dim their light, and most of the time they are taking the persona characteristic of a black sheep, someone that is getting all the blame in the family. It's very interesting because I heard this story more and more often, and in modern psychology we are calling this a dysfunctional family or narcissistic family system. But it is pretty interesting that many people that feel called to be the chosen ones because they see the craziness that is going on in the world right now, and they know deep inside that love is the answer and that harmony is the answer. And many people don't see that. Many people, they join this circus, they join this chaotic, and they even think that chaos is normal. But for a lot of people, that chaos is the goal. It is a birth of a different breed that has happened on this planet, which is happening on a micro scale in family systems, but it's also happening on a macro scale. And that's why we all connect, and that's why we all feel this feeling, because that is the macro energy of what is happening in the micro universe as well, in the family dynamic. And in many times it actually felt for me as a kid, and when growing up, it really felt, and also during 2019 and 2020, I come from a different planet. Like, how are you not able to see through these illusions, to see through these lies? How are you not able to do so? And even though you're not able to do so, which can be okay, right? Because maybe you need a little bit more time to figure things out. But why do you not even feel the urge to investigate? Why can you not even be open enough to look at different realities? Because you are not a truth seeker. You don't care about the truth. And that's the problem. Because the chosen ones, they do care about the truth. They do research, they do investigate. Because no matter what the answer is, they want to be close to the truth, because they are looking for it. And many people, they are not looking for it. They are asleep. And it makes you wonder, what's the difference then between the people that identify themselves as chosen ones, let's say the more authentic people, the black sheeps of the family, and the people that are just completely fine, comfortable in the system, and actually projecting their own traumas and their own shortcomings on other people, and most of the time on the chosen ones, on the black sheeps. It's just projection, and the black sheeps, they internalize that, and that is where the problem is, because we have to get back into our internal state and de-internalize what has happened to us. But why do we all have that same story? Why are we all placed in these dysfunctional families? And we have to break out. Is this a collective experience we all need to go through, or did we just spawn here from a completely different place? We just spawned here to save something or to do something on this planet because things are not looking that good. These things really bother me because I just cannot wrap my head around that. I heard so many times the same story, and the more research that I'm doing and the more I'm trying to heal myself, the more I actually find people that have a similar background, similar feeling state, and similar experiences. And it makes me just wonder, like, why is this system so organized, structured in such a way that it's not in the advantage of empathic people, authentic people? It feels like in this world, authenticity is the big enemy, but it's not. Authenticity is your superpower. And I think most of you recognize this. As a kid, you come home, you're super happy in an authentic state. You don't think about being ashamed. You don't think about feeling guilty. You are super authentic and you are very happy, excited, and people can read it off your face. You have a big smile, you're jumping around, but then you come home and you get this opposite vibe. Someone doesn't like that authenticity because it is a threat. It is like, shh, act normal, be calm, be normal. And you think like, what do you mean be normal? I'm happy. I'm super happy, but you know what? I'm happy, but I'm going to hide it. Once you're angry, you're screaming and you're angry, and then your environment just becomes more angry at you, projecting their anger onto you, which makes you feel that the moment that you actually were angry, it's not right to be angry. It's not accepted to be angry. It is not good to be angry. In other words, do not listen to your own body. Do not listen to your own feelings. Right? It's completely fine. There's a reason that you are feeling angry from an internal state when it's not projection. If you're projecting it, if you're projecting your internal state on someone else, which authentic people don't do, because authentic people are people that actually have a connection with themselves. The ones that are projecting their stuff onto other people are the ones that don't have an authentic connection. Because of that, they don't have a connection. They don't know what's going on. They lost touch with themselves, and that's why they blame the whole world. They go into this victim mode and they project their anger or any shortcomings on the rest of the world. While the authentic people who still have that connection with themselves, they look internally, and they are going to internally, also not always good, right? Because you have to respect yourself, but internally they are going to ask questions like, oh, it's not right that I'm angry, right? It's not good that I'm happy. So what you do then is you're going to be happy in secret. This is something that I personally did many times. You are very happy, but you're not showing it to the outside world, because you've learned from a young age that being happy in that authentic state is a danger. And it was a danger for you, because if you are such a small kid, if you are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, you are completely dependent on the ones that do not like your authenticity. So therefore you learned to protect yourself, to disconnect from your authentic self, or to hide it, to be ashamed by it, to feel guilty for it. How many times I felt guilty for being happy, it is ridiculous. Now I'm getting older, I finally start to realize it is the most ridiculous thing on this planet. If you're happy, you gotta show the world. You know, you gotta put up that smile, you gotta go into the world, and you gotta show the world that you're happy, and you gotta shine that light everywhere. That's super important. That's what the world really needs. And for you or me to be ashamed for being happy and go sit in a room and hide with our happiness, it is one of the most selfish things that we can do. But yeah, that's what we learned on a young age. That is how a kid develops, right? If a kid is not safe while being his authentic self, he's going to dissociate from the authentic self, or he's going to hide it. It's better to hide it than to dissociate, because dissociate is you are disconnecting. Hiding it, you still have it there, but you just don't show it to the world. So you develop shame and guilt feelings. And that's something, when you grow up, when you start to realize that, you have to work on that. And you have to remove the fear, you have to remove the guilt, remove the shame, because these are not godly emotions. These emotions will not help you in your purpose while you came on earth. And maybe one of the purpose for you is to let go of these emotional states, because these emotional states, they serve no function other than to protect the person that is projecting his anger to the outside world, because he or she cannot handle authenticity. So your shame and your guilt only serves those who are sick. So once you realize that, you let go of the shame and guilt, because if it's only serving sick people, you actually help them to remain sick. They cannot even face reality. They cannot even handle an authentic person. So let go of the shame and guilt. That is the moral of the story. Because the shame and guilt is not who you truly are. It's not who you are. It's something outside of you, projections that happened in your childhood or later on, that you have internalized and right now still carry along. It's time to let go. It's time to let go of shame, fear, and guilt. It's time to step into your power, and it's time to do what you came here to do. one sentence that I think is actually very powerful is, if you're brave enough to feel it, your heart has all the medicine you'll ever need to heal it. And this comes to the essence of healing yourself, and that is allowing your feelings to be. So do not fight your feelings. And I had a very profound experience this morning where I actually also allowed my feelings to be there. And your body has certain intelligence that the moment you allow these feelings to be there, so you don't like resist them, but the moment you allow them, your body knows how to handle them and process them. So sometimes when you have like a crazy experience or a traumatic experience, your body is not able to handle with those feelings and sensations at that exact moment because you are busy with protecting your life, right? But it's important that later on in your life you dive into yourself, maybe through breath work or other practices, and to bring up those feelings again and then feel them. And then once you feel it, your body will process them and will let go of them. So actually your shadow work or your shadow side is just one of the ways to heal it, or to turn it in one of your greatest strengths, is to just look at it. Because just by looking at it and allowing it to be, your body will be able to process it. You will be enriched with a lot of experience, which you can use for further decisions in your life and further steerings in your life. Instead of that they are blocking you, instead of that they are put you in a state of fear, they are put you in a state of procrastination, that put you in a state of where you cannot thrive. It all starts with allowing those feelings to be, and feel the feelings that you in other times didn't want to feel. If you're brave enough to feel it, your heart has all the medicine you'll ever need to heal it. These are the dates that I'm talking about. It's kind of like a sugary meat structure. To be honest, sometimes they sell them in the shop already, not the big ones, but the smaller ones without the seed as well. And the crazy thing is, guys, and this is something I never understood, is that they put syrup on top of it on these ones to make it more sweet, and these ones are cheaper than the ones without syrup. It is kind of ridiculous because these things are already really sweet on their own without anything on top of that. And that's also with nuts. Sometimes when I want to buy nuts like cashew nuts, for example, or peanuts, and make it make sense, but the ones that are roasted, they call it roasted, but it's actually deep fried in seed oils. The ones that are deep fried in seed oils are cheaper than the ones that are natural without just the nut. How is it possible when you add an extra step in the process and add even an extra product like seed oils? How is it possible that those ones are actually cheaper than the ones that are completely natural? And the ones that are completely natural, they're advertising with that as well. Completely natural, not roasted, right? Roasted is just marketing way of saying deep fried. And you can feel this in your body, because this is a big topic of discussion in the last 1 or 2 years, and that is the whole seed oil epidemic. And my personal experience with this is that it actually is valid, because if you cook with seed oils, and seed oils are basically the cheapest oils out there, they are normally machine lubricants. And if you eat them, your body doesn't know how to process it, and that's why you get a lot of bloating. And that's what I've experienced first thing myself. If you cook with seed oils, then most of the time the digestion of your food will not be that good. That's the same with processed food. Processed food will not be digested good in the body. At least this is for me, from my personal experience. But the moment that I go through natural products, so I eat dates, and these are super sweet and they have a high calorie count, but I don't get fat from these. I don't get sugar spikes from these. I don't get dips from these. While these contains high amounts of sugar. So not every sugar is the same. And it's also very important how bioavailable certain things are in food. So for me personally, my rule of thumb when I'm looking at my food is always the closer to nature, the better it is for my body. So the more steps that have been in between to create that food, the more distance it has from nature, the worse my body can actually process it. And the best signal that you can use, what I've personally found, is bloating. So if you eat, for example, in the morning you eat eggs or you eat some meat. I personally eat quite a lot of meat and eggs. This is basically my main diet, meat and eggs. I eat mostly animal-based, and I also like to eat a lot of fruit next to it. I don't like to eat too much vegetables because, again, I try with all the foods. I even have a list in the kitchen. I have a list with all the foods that give me bloating and all the foods I don't experience that. And the foods where I don't experience bloating, I'll just eat them unlimited, like until I'm full. So these days I'm eating unlimited. I can eat 20 of these in a day some days, right? With meat, I'll also eat, like this morning when I woke up, like a little bit late because I always skip breakfast, but I ate 3 burgers from the barbecue. That was the only thing that I ate. And meat is still a little bit up for discussion, to be honest, because I believe there should be, everyone should be able to have a diet without meat as well. But personally for me, I feel that for now it works for me. So meat works for me, milk works very good for me, but it is the raw milk. It is not the milk from the supermarket, but I always go to the farm and I buy the milk over there. It is raw milk straight from the cow. It tastes super good. And it's apparently very, very healthy. Fruits, also something. Fruits just straight come from nature onto your plate, but it's not every fruit. And this is something, this is a process that I've also recognized, is how long does the food stay good? So if you have an apple, for example, and that apple stays good for months, and it doesn't, the structure doesn't change, like nothing doesn't change. Like I don't want to eat that apple because most of the fruits that I'm eating, same with and this is really visible with the raw milk versus the supermarket milk. The supermarket milk is completely dead. There is no nutrition inside of there. They're all dead. Because if I buy raw milk from the farm, and I leave that for 3 days in the fridge, the third day I really need to drink it. I really need to use it. Otherwise, the 4th day it's gonna smell bad, and you basically don't wanna drink that anymore. So it has a very short lifespan, so to say, but that's a very good sign because that means that a lot of bacteria want to eat that too, right? If you put food outside of your garden and the ants will eat it. Most of the time, it's a good sign that it's good food, because if you put fake food outside, fake butter and these kind of things, the ants will not eat it. Life sometimes is super simple. That's why when you're in the supermarket and you look at the labels and you see like 20 ingredients in a kind of like a salad spread for your bread, it's going to be very difficult for your body to process that. It might taste very good, but the way you can see that is by bloating, because bloating is when your belly becomes a little bit big. It's not staying flat. It becomes big when you eat because your body has a hard time processing the food. And this is also the problem with the lubricants, the machine lubricants, I mean the seed oils. The way that seed oils are made is a very machinery process. It's not a natural process. That's why these oils are very bad for your body, because your body just cannot process these oils, and that's why it causes bloating, and that's why it even causes depression. Because if you eat deep fried stuff and the stuff is deep fried in seed oils, you will know, if you have a journal or diary and you write your feelings in there, you will know that every time you eat deep fried stuff, you either feel very tired or bad afterwards, or the days afterwards. But there's a big correlation in there. And if you want to deep fry stuff, you still can, but you should deep fry it in different types of oils. You can use coconut oil. That's something that I'm using now and then. Olive oil, I only use the ones that are from the first press, so not the ones that are machine made, because then you have olive oil, but it's still machine made. It's the same as seed oil, so you gotta be a little bit careful of that. But what I use the most, what I think is best, is actually butter straight from the cow, right? And the fat from the cow. So what I often do is I go to the Turkish supermarket here and I buy like a kilo of fat from the cow, and then I cook that fat at home until I have oil left. Takes like 4 hours, and then you have like actually very cheap oil. It's super cheap to buy 1 kilo of fat. Sometimes you can get it even for free at the butcher when you just ask like, hey man, do you have some fat laying around here? Because often they throw it away. They call it beef tallow. Sometimes I also order it online, grass-fed beef tallow, and you can feel it. This is actually really good, because in the morning when I eat my eggs and when I eat my burgers, or in the midday, when I have my first meal of the day, and most of the time that's like eggs or a little bit of meat, then after eating, my belly will stay flat. It will not bloat. So that is how I can actually know that my body is able to process it. And you will also feel it in your energy levels. Your energy levels will be doing good. But I'm personally also very convinced that everybody is different, right? I'm convinced that seed oils are bad for everyone. I think there is nobody in this planet that likes to process these seed oils. So that is one thing. But I also do think that there's no one diet for every person, because we all carry different energetic patterns. We all carry different bodies, and our bodies sometimes have different needs and they work differently. So I think the best way to do is to check for bloating. So eat, and once you're eating, check your energy levels, maybe journal a bit, but the best thing, check your bloating. And every time you have bloating, check what you ate before and try to research a little bit like what you ate and what is causing this bloating, and then try to not eat that and check if the bloating goes away. If you can manage to get your perfect diet, I think it's very great for your life quality at the moment, but it will also be very great for your longevity. You just saw I put like honey in my coffee. I always put honey in my coffee. I never put the white sugar, because my body doesn't like it, and I know it. I never eat actually processed sugar, but I get a lot of sugars. I get a lot of raw honey. I get a lot of sugar from these dates. So I actually ingest really a lot of sugar, but it's never refined sugars, and I have no problem at all. While with refined sugars, I actually can get problems. I get the bloating again. And sometimes, don't get me wrong, sometimes completely fine. Like, I also like to order pizza now and then, but it shouldn't be my standard diet. That's the whole point. If you want to have a life of quality and even of quantity in terms of work, you gotta be able to take care of your body. And it doesn't work if you the whole time or the whole day eat certain foods that will just put your body down. You have the whole day this fight. You know, your body is trying to fight this bad nutrition that you put in your body, and you're trying to keep up. This is a very destructive path. But many people walk this path unconsciously. They don't even know about this. And I have not known about this, because in Holland it's completely normal. When you wake up, you eat some processed bread with Nutella, which is like a chocolate spread on your bread. That's the first thing you eat in the morning. That's completely normal. That's absolutely insane, guys. It's absolutely insane, because right now when I'm conscious of it and I would start my day right now like that, I can feel my energy coming down. And right now I'm healthy. I can handle that. So if I would one day start my day with chocolate paste, like I'm not dying, right? But if you do that on a month to month, like if you do that on a day-to-day basis and you do that for months and months, you're really like putting a lot of stressors on your body, which you don't even recognize, but all your quality of your emotions, your quality of your thoughts, the quality of your work, the quality of the strength of your body will all take a hit. Right? So if you have a cheat day once, it's no problem. But if you have it systematically, you're kind of breaking down your own body. And that's a bit the problem. So it's good to have like some conscious thought about this. Like, what am I eating? Do I feel good with the food that I'm eating? Often I also think like 3 meals a day is definitely not that necessary. Sometimes I think the 3 meals a day rule is rather more that you like to eat than that your body really needs this. Because if you think like this, you wake up in the morning, you start eating, you have lunch and you have dinner, and then later you're going to sleep and maybe you snack something in the night, your whole body has been busy the whole day only with processing food. And next to it, it has to process emotions. It has to process impulses. You're watching screens. It has to process the visuals. It has to process your thoughts. It has to process so much things. That's why I think eating is not something we have to do 3 times a day. And if you do it, try to eat as natural as possible, because that's the easiest way for your body to handle and digest the food. You'll probably feel great. And did you know, guys, and I did this a couple of times in the past, the nuts, and this is pretty interesting actually, the nuts from the date, the seeds, you can roast them in the oven, you can grind them, and you can make coffee of them. I used to do this all the time. I always buy the dates, I eat a lot, then I roast them myself, and then I make coffee out of it. And the coffee of dates is full of nutrition. It tastes very good, and if you make it very strong, it actually tastes similar to real coffee, but there is no caffeine inside. So you have quite tasty coffee with much nutrition that are inside. You can Google about this, and it's basically caffeine free. It's a really good alternative if you don't like caffeine or if you're not reacting good to caffeine. I would highly recommend to try it, guys. Oh, lekker. Oh.